Well, it's Tuesday, and you all know what that means. As you know, New Japan Pro Wrestling has just begun the annual Tag Team Tournament World Tag League. So we will see how that's going to turn out. And then, of course, we have NXT. We have continuing with more of both the men's and the women's Iron Survivor qualifier. And I think we have a number one contendership who will be dealing with, of course, Trick Williams at deadline. But however, the stipulation is now delicate. If Andre Chase wins, he faces Trick Williams. But if he loses, he said that Chase U will be closed down if Rich Hollins wins. So that's going to be a very tough pill to swallow. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling's much recent event back on November 16th with the top of the mountain featuring the main event, the Princess of Princess Championship defended. Miyu Watanabe defends it against the woman who defeated her at the Tokyo Princess Cup, San Diego native Zara Zacher. So that's going to be a very interesting to take a look at. And then, of course, we cap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, and of course, developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, I can either put it on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. If you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have set aside, it's now time to fly ahead. So, let's begin with our very first review, and this is from the Joshi promotion, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Okay, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling with MountainTop. This took place recently on the 16th of November. Now, as always, we have Sayuri Namba doing her opening, giving the info on the matches and everything else, and then, of course, the Up Girls at the performance. Now, let's jump into the first match. Our first match is Chika Manase taking on Yoshiko Hasegawa. Now, I kind of figured that this match was going to go with Yoshiko on some occasions due to the fact that Chika Manase is still one of the still a rookie and least experienced in the roster. As Yoshiko, who we all know has been already an experience, of course, wrestling freelancing, being part of Gambari Pro, and all that. But she did defeat her by applying the stretch muffler, and just like that, Chica had no other choice but the tap. Now, our next match, we have a three-way match. We have Kaya Toribami versus Haruka Neko and versus Shoko Nakajima. Now, I did not see Haruka Neko's return. She made her return back last month, which is a shame that I wish I could have seen it, but I did not. So that's on me. So anyway, uh, the match was okay by any means necessary, but I wasn't too sure how this was going to play. But a part of me was thinking, since Nakajima is a well known and one of the pillars of Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, was going to pick up the win. She did when she applied a Spanish suplex onto Neko, and just like that, it was over. Our next match, we have a six-woman tag match. We have Pam Harajuku, Raku, and Yuki Aino taking on Maki Ito and the Toyo mates, Mahiro Kiru and Yuki Kamifuku. Now, of course, this was going to be a lot of fun match because don't forget, Pam Harajuku, she's a bit of a menace in the ring. Raku, well, she loves trains, and you got to be careful with her lullabies. That's one of the main reasons. But in the end, this ended with Maki Ito applying the Texas Cloverleaf on Palm, and just like that, Palm had no choice but to tap. So it was over just like that. Now, every year they do this thing in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling called the Next Generation Tournament. Um, I don't know if it just started already or this is what, but we're in the semifinals of this match with two matches. We have Kira Summer versus Toga. I've seen Toga, how much she has grown. I've seen her since last year. Kira, I think maybe late last year, I'm not sure, or early this year, I cannot remember. But it was a pretty good match. But unfortunately, this match fell in favor to Toga, who I've seen grown significantly, has done impressively when she applied the sidewalk slam, and boom, just like that, it was over. So she advances to the finals. Now, our next match, we have Wakana Uehara taking on Haru Kazashiro. I think that's her name. Wakana, well, some people give her a lot of high expectations. I don't know if you noticed that. I mean, I do see that a lot in her. But, however, I thought she would have had that opportunity to finally go take her career further. But, unfortunately, this match ended with Haru picking up the pinfall on her. And just like that, she advanced to the finals. So, we could see both Haru and Toga in the finals. And those two actually debuted around the same time, along with Runa Okubo, who's currently out of absence, I believe. But yeah. So anyway, let's keep moving forward. Our next match, we have Moka Miyamoto. She teams up with Shaza McKenzie. They take on Iwamari and Rika Tatsumi. So it's a very interesting match to see. Don't forget Rika Tatsumi. She is a very delicate wrestler, but in the end, it was Shaza McKenzie who picked up the win when she pinned Imawari, and just like that, it was over. Our next match, we have, of course, another six-woman tag match. We have Ura Takami, Shino Shizuki, and Mizuki. They take on Daisy Monkey, Arusu Enu, and Suzumi, and they team up with the current uh, uh, International Princess Champion, Yuki Arai. So nothing too significant, but of course, you can tell by the certain aspects of the match. If you look at Takami and Shizuki, well, Takami has the least experience out in this match. Shino Suzuki maybe a year or two. Mizuki, well, we all know her, so that's no secret. But you look at Daisy Monkey, Suzumi, and Arisu Endo, they are a very cohesion team. So that sets it up, and not to mention they team up with, of course, with the International Princess Champion, Yuki Arai. Some of you may think that Yuki Arai was going to pick up the win. That's exactly what she did when she applied a sharpshooter onto Suzuki, and just like that, it was over. So basically, that's how it ends. Now, our main event is the Princess of Princess Championship, or better known as the Pop title. We have Zara Zacker versus Miyu Watanabe. Now, many of you know this or not. During the Tokyo Princess Cup, Zara Zacker actually defeated Miyu Watanabe during that time, and I think it was during the first or second round. I think the first round. I did ask her if there was any plans of her to go back to Japan, and looks like that the answer was made. So because of that match that she won against Miyu Watanabe during the Princess Cup, it showed that of course she gets in line for a title match. And of course, I'm sure Miyu Watanabe had learned her lesson, knowing too well that this was a match that should be rectified in some ways. And that's exactly Zero Zakura. I'm not gonna deny she's talented. I mean, she does that amazing you know, cartwheel, backflip, whatever cutter. That's one of the most impressive things. I even met her myself back in September when West Coast Pro were here. But nonetheless, the match was pretty good. But Miyu Watanabe took every ounce of strength to try to cut her off, and that's what she did with the teardrop. And just like that, it was over. So practically, we were done with that. So I think we're done with Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Let's move on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling World Tag League. Now, those who know this or not, let me explain what this one is. This is a tag team tournament for the heavyweight competitors. Now, as you know, recently we had the uh, Super Junior Tag League. Those are for the junior heavyweight competitors. Now we're jumping into the heavyweight. And also, the winners of this tournament will do get a shot of the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles, currently being in the possession of United Empire's Hinari and Great Khan. And of course, the same point system: 2 points for a win, 0 points for loss. But if the time of a time limit draw, 1 point each. Same thing with count out, the double count out, that sort of thing. So that kind of sets it up too. Now we're just going to focus on the Block A matches only. Our first match, we have Tomoaki Hamna teaming up with the shooter, Shota Umino. They take on, of course, United Empire's Kyle Newman and Jeff Cobb. Now, of course, I had a feeling that this match was going to fall in favor with the United Empire because it ended with Jeff Cobb applying the Tour of the Islands on Hamna, and just like that, they get their first 2 points. Our next match, this one was a real fun one. We have Alex Zane. Now, normally we see him team up with Lance Archer, but Lance Archer's currently been participating more often in AEW. He teams up with Ryusuke Taguchi, where he dresses up like him. Instead of red, it's green. Don't forget, Taguchi's color scheme is green. So they face against LIJ's Yota Tsuji and Shingo Takagi. So that kind of sets it up right there. And of course, this match was there would be some funny moments, but unfortunately, Taguchi ended up on the wrong side of the Gene Blaster by Yota Tsuji, and just like that, LIJs get their first 2 points with just like that. Our next match, we have, of course, the Bullet Club, not Bullet Club War Dogs, consistent of Chase Owens and Kenta. They take on, of course, two-time winner of World Tag League, Bishamon, and former tag champions. So, of course, you probably would think. Now, of course, the dirty tactics coming from Bullet Club was going to be a factor to play out because that's what they want to do, is win. But unfortunately, Chase Owens ends up on the wrong side of Shoto, allowing for Goto to pick up the win by pinning him, and they get their first 2 points. Our main event, we have the Bullet Club War Dogs, consisting of Sonata and that loudmouth crybaby with the big diapers, Gabe Kidd. They take on TMDK's Rohei Oiwa and Zack Sabre Jr. Of course, seeing Sonata now being the biggest prick of them all, betraying Taichi, this was going to happen. But however, I was a bit of surprise because this match ended with Oiwa, who has now challenging Gabe Kidd for the Openweight Championship, the New Japan Strong Openweight title. He pinned Gabe Kidd with the schoolboy, and of course, this was unprecedented. No one expected. And of course, Kidd and Oiwa decide to clash. And I'm sure Gabe Kidd was not going to appreciate it. He's going to tell him he's dead and all that. Well, we'll see what happens because Oiwa, he's now on a roll too. So that pretty much what happens in World Tag League. So right now we end things here with New Japan, and let's move on with our last review, which is NXT. Okay, NXT. As you know, we continue with more of the qualifying matches in the both men's and women's Iron Survival Challenge. Now, speaking of that, as you know, Nathan Frazier decided to get involved because apparently he's avoiding the fact that every tag team, him and Axiom, are, as you know, they're both the current NXT tag team champions, they're being gunned for. And of course, that's what's happening. And Gallus, as you know, are making the presence known that they want this title, these belts. However, Nathan Frazier had to focus up ahead because he faces against Eddie Thorpe in the qualifying matches. So that's how it happened. However, while the match was happening, every tag team who are now gunning for Frazier and Axiom made their presence known. So, of course, now there was no interference, but of course, a brawl broke down. A lot of chaos happened. But because of the chaos, this cost, what's his name? Eddie Thorpe to lose this match, allowing for Ethan Page, of course, Nathan Frazier to pick up the win. Now he did approach Ava later on, trying to reverse the whole thing, but however, it was impossible. So that's pretty much what happened. So he has no one but himself to blame for how things went down. Now, before our main event, we did see some moments where Chase U are talking about the good times because it was more like you may never know this could be the last time. So we'll see how that rolls. Now, our next match is part of the women's Iron Survivor qualifier, Jada Parker versus Stephanie Vacker. Now, of course, Parker doesn't think that Stephanie does not have what it takes to defeat someone like her. But however, you would think that Jada Parker, who had in a fantastic hardcore match a week before, would have put her on the spot. But however, it seems someone refused to let go of that loss, and Lola Vice showed up with a brick. However, she did not interfere, but of course, Jada Parker lost focus, giving time for Stephanie Vacker to apply a super kick and then a package backbreaker, and just like that, she advances. So we'll see what happens down the line. Now, while this match was being watched, Mr. Stone, along with Stevie Turner, Kelani Jordan was also watching this, so she knew that she has to prove herself because, of course, Fatal Influence thinks in their perspective that she, doesn't stand out. But Kelani Jordan wants to prove it. So she decided that if she's going to participate in the Iron Survival Challenge, she requests that she wants Julia. So that's going to be interesting. So we'll see where that leads. Now, our next match, we have Tony D'Angelo taking on Brooks Jensen. So basically, that is what happened. So basically, as you know, Sean Spears has his sights set on the North American title. That was always been the case. But however, the Don of NXT was able to defeat Jensen with, of course, the Spinebuster. And then, of course, Sean Spears was about to throw the line of respect, but it was an ambush to attack both of course, the Don, and that's pretty much what happened. I'm sure the Don is not going to forget about this, so the family may have to intervene at some point. Now, our next match, we had a very interesting mixed tag match. Brindley Reese teaming up with Dion Lennox, taking on Carmen Petrovic and Ashata Adonis. I don't know exactly what's going on with those two because, as you know, Carmen and Adonis have been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on their, this whole thing. Costing each other's matches, and now this is happening. So I don't know how this was gonna go, but of course Carmen, who I have to say has shown a lot of improvement. Not to mention she put on a huge roundhouse kick on Brindley Reese, winning the match. And then of course both Adonis and Carmen Petrovic, hugged it out. I don't know where that's gonna lead us, but that's gonna be interesting to follow. So can't wait to see it. Now, in the backstage, we did see Lexus King talking to Yoshiko Inamari, who you all know. I mentioned him. He's from Pro Wrestling Noah. He was talking to him, and then Josh Briggs shows up. He asks him what was that about. I don't know. He's everything here is very crazy. While he was dealing with that, well, as you know, the tag team division continues to explode, finding who's going to be the ones to take on the tag team champions. And however, and Minara just saw this and he's like, it's my kind of crazy. So basically, he's enjoying himself. So even Josh Briggs like enjoys it. That's pretty cool. I can't wait. Now, our next match is another of the women's Iron Survivor qualifier. We have Ren Sinclair versus Zaria. So that kind of sets it in because we all been following Zaria when she first debuted. She kind of finished her off with the F5, and just like that, it was over. Now, Fatal Influence, as you know, are trying to make their presence known, saying that they run the division. So that kind of sets it up because now they have the NXT the Women's North American title. However, the Meta Girls, Jakara Jackson, Last Legend, decided to deal with it, and then all hell broke loose, and the entirety of the locker room, showed up to deal with the whole thing happening. However, while that mess was happening, unbeknownst to Fallon Henley, she was attacked by Tatum Paxley and put her in the psycho trap, and just like that. So, tall tales are saying she may be targeting for the NXT Women's North American title. Now, remember, this was not the first time it happened, so we'll see where that goes. Now, Ethan Page has been announced that he will be participating in the Iron Survival Challenge, but apparently, while Axiom and Nathan Frazier were watching this, Axiom was saying that he's not going to win it because he tells him he's in it too in the Iron Survival Challenge, where he's going to be challenging Ethan Page for the spot. So you can say, what the hell is he thinking? Well, he must have picked up bad vibes, bad example from Nathan Frazier. I'm not sure, but who knows? Now, Trick Williams makes his way to the ring to watch the number one contenders match for his title between Rich Holland and Andre Chase. But man, you can tell Andre Chase was determined to prove people wrong. But Rich Holland is determined to destroy Chase U one way or another. And that's exactly what he did. He destroyed Thea, Riley Osborne, Duke, and then, of course, he applied the Redeemer, ending Chase U once and for all, which is a sad moment. So it's very sad. So that means he'll be dealing with Trick Williams at Deadline. So we'll see what happens from here on out. So I think we're done with all the reviews with NXT. Let's move on with some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin with upcoming events with the promotions. On the 22nd of November, Sendai Girls will be at the Sendai Pit. 2 matches have been announced on that particular day. The first one is Stardom's very own Rana Yagami taking on Yurika Oka, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then there's, of course, a 6-woman tag match. Team 200 kilogram, Yu, Chihiro Hashimoto, they will team up with Miyuki Takase. They will face against Maya Yuhiki, Dash Shizako, and Hiroyo Matsumoto. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, as you know, on the 22nd as well of November, the promotion Arrival Wrestling will have their event 3. And they just announced that Brian Myers will be there for the meet and greet. But also, as a friendly reminder, this show is a free show on YouTube. So if you guys are interested, go check it out. So it's Arrival Wrestling. Now, Costa Rican-based promotion, Costa Rican Wrestling Embassy, will be celebrating their 10th year anniversary on December 7th of 2024, and they announced that Blue Panther will be making his presence known to take on a guy named Esqualo. I don't know how to pronounce. Yes, folks. I'm actually half Costa Rican. I did not know about this promotion. I will love to check this promotion out if I ever get that opportunity. Now, the World Wrestling Network has announced for the battle for the belts taking place on the 13th of December. Timothy Thatcher will be facing against Charlie Dempsey. That's going to be one heck of a match. Now, more with, of course, MLW Kings of the Coliseum. they just announced Dark Panther will be there. Now, those who don't know who he is he related to Blue Panther? Yes. This is one of his three sons. So, Dark Panther, well, originally he was known as Black Panther, but later he calls himself Dark Panther. He does have two brothers, Blue Panther Jr. and Hijo de Blue Panther. So, yeah. So, go check that out. Now for some developments. More names have been announced for the WWE ID. We have Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor. I don't know who that guy is. So that's pretty much it. What's going on that. However, another development has happened. As you know, NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, are doing that whole territories thing, and they just developed another one in Texas called NWA Texas. So they do have several territories in other locations. So they're bringing back the old ways of NWA, which is very interesting to see. This was something I thought they could bring back from when they were relaunched, but we'll see how that goes. So I think that's pretty much it what we have. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we have AEW Dynamite. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen because we do know that this coming weekend we do have Full Gear. That's going to be the go home show before. If there's any other events, I haven't decided yet. I know I'm behind on Choco Pro. There's a much recent Gleech show. I missed out on several other events. I'm a bit behind on certain ones, but we'll see if we can catch up. So that's pretty much it what we have. So I'll see you guys on the next episode. So I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah, and have a nice day. Bang.